Hey, are you concerned about your blood pressure, or maybe you're wondering how does the carnivore diet affect your blood pressure? I'm going to talk about that in this video. There's a couple of reasons why this is an important topic. Many people come to the carnivore diet for improved health. And one of those things they want to improve is heart health. One of those things being blood pressure. But on the flip side of that, one of people's major concerns about the carnivore diet is that it might be bad for your heart. And one of the signs that something might be bad for your heart is your blood pressure. So talking about how the carnivore diet affects your blood pressure, I think is an important topic. Now, I've been on the carnivore diet for almost 6 months now. It's helped me get better sleep, lose 80 pounds, cure my acid reflux, and so many more things. But this one topic is something that was concerning to me from the very beginning. I watched a ton of YouTube videos and it seemed like everybody was saying good things about it. So that's why I took the plunge back in Christmas of 2023. Now that it's been almost 6 months, I want to report back to you on how it's affected my blood pressure. Spoiler alert, for anybody that just wants to get a quick answer and get off the video, I totally understand. The quick answer is, the carnivore diet has helped me improve my blood pressure. The long story is, over the years I've struggled with high blood pressure. I'd say I've struggled with high blood pressure for more than a decade. When I was still in the Air Force, I was having some problems with passing the PT test, and so I had to go to this class to show you about nutrition and things of that nature. And while I was in that class, I started getting like heart palpitations or something. I started like sweating and feeling very uncomfortable. They took my blood pressure and it was way higher than it needed to be. I don't remember how high it was, but I know they wanted me to seek medical attention immediately. Needless to say, I've been trying to find ways to improve my blood pressure over the years. I've experimented with the DASH diet. I've tried just counting calories multiple times. I've tried keto. I've tried a plant-based diet. I've tried fasting. I've tried a bunch of things. Some things kind of work. Some things work, but I just couldn't stick to it. And here we are at carnivore diet. So throughout all this time, I hadn't been able to find a way to get my blood pressure down to normal levels. Even when I think that my blood pressure is moving down, anytime I go to a doctor's office, it's always elevated. More than 140 on the top number and over 90 on the bottom number. Now, I do have an iPhone and I'll go to Publix and take my blood pressure that way. I think that sometimes being at the doctor, it makes my blood pressure a little bit higher. I've heard about white coat syndrome, and maybe it's true because when I go to the Publix and use the machine, it's not as high as what it is at the doctor's. But just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm dealing with when I'm not at the doctor's office, roughly a year ago, I took my blood pressure at Publix and it was 136/89. So it's still fairly up there with the hypertension. Since this is something I've struggled with pretty much all the time, I didn't take my blood pressure right when I started the carnivore diet. But last week, I did take my blood pressure. I was at the grocery store getting some meat because, you know, I'm on the carnivore diet and I needed something for dinner. Well, I just so happened to feel led to get my blood pressure taken that day, and my blood pressure came in at 106/76. I don't know about you, but that feels like amazing. All the fears that I had before about whether or not the carnivore diet is good or bad for your heart have kind of all melted away now that I've seen this positive outcome with blood pressure. I know it's not the one measurement that's going to tell me whether or not I have great heart health, but everything seems to be going in the right direction. All the things I mentioned earlier in the video, plus a bunch of things I mentioned in other videos when I talked about different mile markers, and then now my blood pressure is ideal. I mean, look at this chart. This kind of shows you where everything was at before and where things currently are and how it's changed over the time, and how I used to be in like critical levels and now I'm at better than normal. I mean, not to hype the carnivore diet up too much, but it seems like a miracle kind of diet. If you're interested in learning a bit more about it, I did put together a free guide that kind of like shows you how to start the carnivore diet, and you can find that link in the description. Now, I'm no doctor and I'm not a scientist. I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that. I'm just sharing my experience. And I don't know exactly why blood pressure goes down when you're on the carnivore diet. Maybe it has to do with me losing weight. Maybe there's some chemical reaction in your body that I'm not familiar with. Maybe it just has something to do with being on a low carb diet. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, I've been seeing a lot of positive effects from the carnivore diet, and that's all I'm doing is just sharing my experience with you. I'd love to hear about what other people's experience is when it comes to blood pressure and the carnivore diet. If y'all would be so kind and mention some things in the comments, that'd be great. I really appreciate it.